Hello, I'm Alison Duana, and this is the Goddess Asteroid weekly podcast. So, welcome and thank you for listening. The Goddess Asteroids are a really powerful and important part of what is happening cosmically at the moment. And in many ways, they are, I feel, our way out of a lot of the problems, a lot of the karma that we're facing. So today I'm just going to talk about all the planets going retrograde, what Mercury and Mars are doing. This is combined with the gene key, so you're getting bit more information. It's the I Ching connected to the zodiac that the gene keys are an aspect of. Or I say an emanation of. So I'm going to be sharing a bit about the gene keys that they're in. Then I'm going to be looking at Ceres on the north node, Juno on the south node. I'm going to be sharing a beautiful nature journey with mushrooms that I did the other day. To kind of share what I feel is going on with Ceres, the mother goddess. And then finally, we're going to look at Pallas Athena, who is conjunct Neptune at the moment in the sign of Pisces. So that's all about the Bodhisattva energy. Okay, so I'm going to begin by screen sharing the chart for today. It's the 21st of August, so I'm actually doing this on Sunday. I normally do it on Monday, but I'm going away tomorrow, so I'm doing it today. And what I want to point out to you that as of yesterday, every single one of the outer planets is retrograde. Okay, so this is like a really intense time. If you're feeling a bit like unhinged, or there's arguments, stuff coming up from the past, aggravated energies, when you get in all these planets, outer planets, which represent the transpersonal, the collective in retrograde, we're going to see a lot of issues going on. So let me just pick up my little pen here. Dun, dun, dun. So we have Uranus there, is in Taurus, going retrograde. I think he went retrograde yesterday. Then we have Chiron is retrograde here at the moment in Aries. Here we have Neptune and Pallas Athena. They're both going retrograde. We have Jupiter in Aquarius going retrograde. We have Saturn in Aquarius going retrograde, and Pluto in Capricorn going retrograde. So I do remember some years ago this happening, but it is actually quite a rare occurrence for this to happen. So we can expect some belief systems maybe to come crashing down, our favorite spiritual guru or politician. There's a lot going on around the war in Afghanistan ending, and expectations about what's happening there. And we also, of course, have the climate change report that came out a few weeks ago. And that actually came out as Ceres started her approach to the North Node there. So little bit of planetary background before we launch into the asteroids. Here we have Mars and Mercury. We also have Hygeia. She's a healing goddess to do with attunement to our natural rhythms of the earth and the cosmos. And Mars and Mercury are in gene key 64 this week. So the key words for that are the shadow of confusion. So this is a time a lot of people are confused. You know, there's a lot going on in the spiritual world, like sexual abuse issues coming up. In the political world, you know, the war in Afghanistan I've mentioned before. In the ecological world, you know, what is going to happen next. And so that is the shadow of this time. Now the gift is imagination. So imagination says to me that we always have the power of imagination. You know, that's part of being human. We don't have to just get swept along in a wave of destruction. We could use our imagination to create intention for our own life and for, you know, the future of the children, the future of humanity, the future of the animals, the plant kingdoms. And the gift is illumination, where we suddenly realize, wow, this is how we do it. So in this next bit, I'm actually going to share this medicine walk I did. So for a number of weeks now, I've been watching Ceres, who's the mother goddess energy. So she has to do with our relationship to our own mother attachment issues, which shape our communication, our relationships. They're so important, this attachment issue. And in my previous 2 weeks, I've talked quite a lot about that, so I'm not going to cover it again. And what I want to talk about this week primarily is our relationship with Mother Earth. Do we trust Mother Earth in the same way that we would trust our mother to provide? And chances are these two things are really related to each other. It's quite interesting. Things like trust and faith are actually things that are wired into us in these very early months of our life. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing this and just going to tell you a little bit about how this medicine walk came about. So I've been interested in mushrooms for years, and you may have come across this guy called Paul Stammets. He's made quite a lot of films, and I've watched him do TED Talks, and I actually once bought like all these. I spent like £500 buying logs and filling them with all these medicinal mushrooms, and it was great fun. And all through the pandemic, actually, the thing I've been taking to boost my immunity is a combination of reishi and shiitake mushrooms. And I know there's other ones, but this is just something you can get in Britain called mushroom gold, which has, you know, these key ingredients that really help to, amongst other things, help to control viruses. So the film that he made, the big film called Fantastic Fungi, recently came on Netflix. So I watched it the other day for the first time, and I was like, wow, you know, there's so much in there, you know, including how his mother recovered from stage 4 cancer by taking turkey tail, which her consultant actually told her to take, because they said, you know, there's nothing we can do to help you, but why don't you take this, which her son happily supplied to her. So amazing, miraculous story. And there she was, she got up on stage, and so put it this way, it blew me away. I was like so thrilled. And it's so much about the ecosystems of the earth, our origin, as mushrooms as our mother, actually. So that's quite a mind-blowing concept, that mushrooms are genetically and biologically the mother of the human species. So I just watched the film and I went outside. I have a little wild garden where I live, and I'm not joking, there were mushrooms growing everywhere. Like I've never seen them before. And I was like, oh, wow. So I decided I would go on this mushroom walk the next day. I often go on quite long walks. That's part of what I love doing with my little doggies who have been very good. They're lying here quietly today. And so on the morning though that I was about to go on the walk, and I was just checking my emails, and I had an interesting one that caught my eye from, his name is Father Richard Rohr. He's a real heretic Catholic priest, who, you know, for me, he's really repairing Christianity in quite a profound way. And I think it's important because a lot of our way that we treat nature actually has come from our interpretation of the Bible, especially this little one sentence, you know, in the Bible that says that we are the dominant race, or, you know, whatever it says, that we've kind of taken to mean we can do whatever we want. Anyway, what he's writing about, it's actually a photographer, and they're writing about, rather than taking a photograph, to receive a photograph. And you know, talked a bit about how our eyes receive light and that kind of thing. And I was really inspired by that because, you know, if you think about a relationship with another human, imagine you always took, you never gave anything back. You know, you just took whatever you wanted, you treated them as kind of an endless resource. And honestly, that is how we've been brought up to treat the earth. So it's not surprising, you know, to find ourselves in this kind of really difficult relationship, and the earth hasn't given up on us, but it feels like, you know, this would be a good time to consider that sacred reciprocity, which is so much at the heart of every shamanic tradition. Okay, so I went off on my walk, and I'm going to share again a couple of photos from the walk. So this was one of the first ones I came across. It had just been raining, and then the sun came out, so it was actually really amazing for photography on this walk. And what kind of came to me was about how the leaves are receiving the water and the light. They're just receiving the nurturing. And this is all about what the goddess Asteroids, they're trying to teach us to be more yin, teach us to be more receptive, and bring yin and yang into balance. So this was a really beautiful kind of beginning, really. And perhaps it seems kind of obvious, but, you know, a lot of us really struggle to receive nurturing. And here the plant is doing it effortlessly, just by being still and holding out its leaves. And there it is receiving. You know, and sometimes we're kind of in this struggle mode, and maybe we don't have to be. Maybe we just need to be in this sort of receptive mode. So I'm going to show you a couple of the mushrooms that I found. So this one was really lovely. I call it the nibbled chalice. And I had to climb quite a steep hill. I sort of saw it. So what I noticed in not going, because I had actually thought I'm going to go on a mushroom walk, I'm going to take photos. But now I went out saying I'm with my consciousness was that I'm going to receive photos. And what I noticed with it is that I saw things that were a lot more hidden than I think I would normally have seen. The walk was much slower because I was kind of, I was really conscious of letting the light come into my eyes, you know, receiving nature, and being in my body rather than kind of walking through nature. It's a weird thing that our minds do, that we could walk through nature and not notice a single thing and maybe stop and take, you know, a few photos, but we've kind of missed all the gems. And this was, you know, and just if I look at the just the stem of it had these incredible patterns, and then, you know, this golden color, like in a golden elixir sitting there, and something. Oh, I'm doing a drawing here. Didn't mean to do that. But something has come along and nibbled that in the night. Maybe a mouse, maybe a deer. Who knows? But it's lovely to think about, you know, in the night time, all these other things are happening and going on. Okay, a couple more. Share screen here. Here we go. So this was really lovely. Yeah, so I get my little pen here, highlighter. And you can see here is a mushroom. It's on a hillside. And I was trying to capture the colour. My camera hasn't quite done it, but this was flowering heather. The heather just started flowering. So I live in Yorkshire, and so I live in the valley, but when you start walking up, you hit moorland, and this time of year, so beautiful because the heather starts. And you can see the first of the autumn leaves there. So it was just like magical. And again, you know, I think it was only because I was walking so slowly and I was in this receiving mood or way of being that I even saw this. You know, normally I would have walked straight past that. And I am actually a pretty awake and conscious walker. So I really invite you, you know, to use this time while Ceres is on the North Node, because the North Node is a powerful point that pulls us karmically towards it. And, you know, to work on your communication with the earth. Are you receiving her? Are you hearing her? Are you seeing her? You know, in the same way, you know, with our lover or our children or our parents, when we see, when we listen, these are incredible tools for positive relationships. Very simple tools, actually, but they take a bit of discipline, and the discipline really is in the slowing down and making the time, feeling it's important enough. You know, do you feel it's important enough for you to have a relationship with the planet that you live on? That's a really good relationship. And I really, if you don't feel you have that, I really recommend it, because it will make your life so full of joy and delight. You know, whatever's going on, it's going to be there. Okay, so let's move on. I'm gonna screen share the chart again, and actually I'm not going to go much into Juno is on the South Node. This is all about changing relationships and ancestral issues coming up, but I did say quite a bit in my previous two podcasts when this was also going on, so please go back if you're interested in finding out about that, and if this connects with your chart as well. Anything I say, if this is conjunct anything in your chart, then it's going to be even more relevant to you. Okay, so I'm going to move here to have a look at Neptune and Pallas Athena. Now, what's quite interesting is these are right on the cusp of gene key 22, which is a really important gene key about the, it's like a pathway into the Akashic records, gene key 22. Its shadow is about dishonor, dishonoring of self, dishonoring of other. Very much feeds into the whole relationship thing, because when we don't honor ourselves, we don't honor the earth, we don't honor the other, then we're already on shaky ground. And the siddhi, which is the highest frequency, is grace. And then Pallas Athena, she's the warrior goddess. And in Pisces, she's the bodhisattva energy. So the bodhisattvas are those amazing beings, perhaps we are them, who have said we will come back again and again until we get everyone through these portals from living in this dense consciousness, which most of the planet is in at the moment, through to this transcendent consciousness. So we want to move from the shadows into the gifts. The gift here is graciousness, and then the siddhi is grace, which are really profound moments of love, forgiveness, realization of our beauty, that God, the Creator, loves all of us and is a guiding light for us. And then we've, as I say, Pallas Athena, this bodhisattva energy. Now, very interesting, because she's in the next gene key along, which is 36, and this is the siddhi of compassion. And of course, this is what the bodhisattvas are all about. They're all about this very high frequency of compassion, which is why, on our planet at the moment, there's a lot of people who have the potential to become enlightened in this life, maybe already are enlightened, and will pull thousands of people with them, thousands, maybe even millions, and the core thing for the bodhisattva is compassion. That's what drives the bodhisattva. So we've got a pretty amazing combination here, and this is why I say, you look at like all the outer planets are retrograde, but at the same time we've got these really amazing things going on with the goddess asteroids, and for me they always offer hope, and they always offer like a clear direction. And my hope as an astrologer is to communicate those weekly through these little podcasts. So please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Please share it with your astrology friends if you think they'd be interested in the goddess asteroids. It is, it's still something that is quite on the cusp. It's getting more and more well known about. And I want to share as well that as well as being an astrologer, I'm what's called a gene keys guide, and I'll post the link to the gene keys. You can go and get your own hologenetic profile. You can see if any of these I'm talking about connects with your profile. And if you're interested in doing the golden path, and specifically through the physical body, through yoga, this is going to be a yoga immersion, and I'm not doing the yoga, it's with a group of amazing visionary yogis from Ajay in Los Angeles, and they have an online platform called Soul Tribe. So it's going to be on that platform. So I'll post the link to the Facebook event underneath, or you can get in touch with me if you'd like to, if you're interested in that, you'd like to find out more. And I do offer one-to-one goddess astrology readings using these first 6 asteroids. So namaste, go in peace, have a lovely week, and go on a walk too. Go and receive some photos if you are able to. Namaste, go in peace.